All right, let's talk about something we all have, but probably don't think about nearly enough, our plumbing. We're going to pull back the curtain on the invisible war that's happening inside our walls. And to do that, we're going to zero in on one particular city as a really fascinating case study to show you the kind of hidden pressures that could be messing with your pipes right at this very moment.
I know it sounds a little weird, but just think about it for a second. All those little sounds your house makes, the creaks, the groans, the drips, what if they're not just random noises? What if they're actually clues? Little whispers from this hidden network trying to tell you a story about all the stress and strain it's under.
So what are they saying? Well, they're dropping hints about this incredibly complex system that's running literally right under your feet and behind your walls.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? That weird gurgle the toilet makes, the constant drip, drip, drip from the faucet, that funky smell coming from the drain. Yeah, we've all been there. But here's the thing. These aren't just little one-off annoyances. They are symptoms, and they're pointing to a much, much bigger story that's playing out just out of sight.
Okay, a really good way to think about this is to imagine your plumbing as your house's circulatory system. Seriously, this whole web of pipes, it's just like the arteries and veins. And those little symptoms we just talked about, they could be the first warning signs of, say, clogged arteries, or even tiny stress fractures in the system.
So to really get what's going on, we have to look past the faucet handle and go behind the drywall. We're diving deep into this hidden network.
And here's the key thing to wrap your head around. This is not just a bunch of random pipes. Nope, it's a completely interconnected system that is under constant invisible stress. It's fighting a battle 24/7 against forces you've probably never even thought about.
Okay, so let's get specific. This is our case study, and it's a fantastic example. We're going to look at Pasadena, California, because this is a place where a bunch of really specific local conditions all come together to create, well, a perfect storm of plumbing problems. It's like a pressure cooker, for real.
Now, what's so important to understand is that in a place like Pasadena, the threat isn't just one single thing. It's not one villain, it's a whole crew of them, a combination of forces all ganging up on the plumbing system at the exact same time.
So who's villain number one? You might be surprised. It's the ground itself. See, Pasadena is built on this special kind of clay soil. When it rains, it expands, and when it's dry, it shrinks and contracts. Just try to picture that. The very earth is squeezing, pushing, and pulling on the pipes buried inside it, constantly, day after day.
All right, villain number two is history. A lot of the homes there are old, built between 1900 and 1940, and they were built with these galvanized steel pipes. Now, here's the sneaky part. They rust from the inside out. It's like a slow-motion heart attack for your plumbing, just gradually choking off the water flow until one day, boom, total failure.
And then there's the water. Villain number three is the water itself. The local supply is hard, which just means it's packed with minerals. And over the years, those minerals build up inside the pipes, creating these rock-hard blockages. It's exactly like plaque building up in an artery. And what's worse, that same stuff coats the heating element in your water heater, making it work way harder and waste a ton of energy just to give you a hot shower.
And for our final villain, we have nature. You know, Pasadena is famous for its gorgeous old trees. Beautiful, right? Well, yeah, above ground. But underground, it's a different story. The roots of these massive oak and ficus trees are like little heat-seeking missiles for water. They can sense the tiniest bit of moisture escaping from an old sewer line, and they are relentless. They'll find a crack, worm their way in, and then just keep growing until, bam, total blockage.
Okay, so let's recap the team of villains: shifting soil, ancient pipes, hard water, and super aggressive tree roots. They're all working together. So now let's look at how this conspiracy turns those little drips we mentioned earlier into absolute, full-blown disasters.
This table here really lays it all out, connecting the dots from symptom to catastrophe. So that annoying low water pressure you've been ignoring, that's probably those old corroded pipes we talked about, and the fix could be repiping your whole house. Ouch. A sewage backup? You can probably thank those tree roots for that, and it can literally lead to contaminated water flooding your home. And if you suddenly have no hot water, that could mean your water heater is about to burst and dump 50 gallons of water all over your garage.
And hey, if you're still thinking a small leak isn't a big deal, get a load of this number: 200 gallons. That is how much water one single faulty toilet that's constantly running can waste in one day. Every single day. That is just a silent killer for your water bill and an incredible waste of a precious resource.
Okay, wow. That's a lot of doom and gloom, I know.
A lot of pressure, a lot of problems, but don't worry, it's not hopeless. There are solutions. So let's shift gears and talk about the modern plumber's playbook, how the pros actually deal with all this stuff. So, when a pro shows up, their response isn't just a one-size-fits-all thing. They're really thinking in 3 different categories. First, you've got emergency repairs. That's triage, stopping the bleeding, dealing with the active crisis. Then there are standard repairs, which is about fixing those annoying problems and getting things back to normal. And finally, you have upgrades and installations. This is the long-term thinking, the stuff that protects your home for the future.
Okay, so it's nice to know the categories, but what actually happens when you're the one in that stressful spot and you have to pick up the phone and make that call for help? What can you expect?
While there's a clear process, and it's designed to take all the chaos and panic out of the situation, it really just boils down to 3 simple steps. Step 1, you call. They dispatch someone. Step 2, the plumber shows up, diagnoses the problem, and tells you what needs to be done, and you have to approve it. And Step 3, they do the repair and then they test everything to make sure it's all working exactly like it should.
And this quote right here, it really gets to the core of it all. A good plumber isn't just there to fix a thing. They're there to help you understand. They explain why it broke in the first place. That knowledge is so empowering, and it's way, way better than just getting a quick fix without knowing what even happened.
So, after all this, after seeing all these hidden forces, from the shifting ground to the ancient pipes, it kind of leaves you with a big question, right? You have to ask yourself, is the plumbing in your house a stable, reliable system, or is it just a ticking clock?